Hey everyone, Chris Ramsey here. Just going to do a quick one today. I'm excited this morning. I'm going to go back to what I basically think about every single day is cash flowing into real estate. So how do I get more of my money into real estate? And that usually leads back into how do I get more cash flow? So what businesses are you going to recommend? Any service business. There's so many of these businesses and I like all the ones that actually go into my real estate. Insurance businesses, roofing, plumbing, HVAC, all of these businesses that have to do with real estate are also essential. So if you start any of these businesses and you're even making a decent amount of money, you just cash flow that money right into real estate. Then as the real estate portfolio grows, you start doing your own work and now the business grows. And it's just a never ending cycle. So you want to try to get vertically integrated with everything to do with real estate. And that portfolio just continues to grow. Now your business portfolio grows and your real estate portfolio grows at the same time. So it turns into not only, and not to mention, you're getting all the tax advantages. So, I mean, this is something that constantly goes into my thought process every single day, really. Like, what business should I add or what business can I add to help improve with my real estate? You just keep going and you pick the best businesses for you. You know, some people HVAC, some people roofing, and you just keep going. You keep building a real estate portfolio, and then the problems change, right? Maybe you got so much cash flow that the problem ends up being that you can't find deals. So then you go to solve that problem, and then you get an acquisitions team, and then this empire just ends up building and becoming so large that it's something that you never could have even imagined, right? And it all started from one simple theory. Take cash flow from your business and put that into real estate. That's always my number one rule. I post about it everywhere on social media nonstop. I talk about that one simple theory, and that's just because it's it's hard to equate. It's hard to even do the math around all the advantages and all the things that it eventually leads up into. You know, the tax advantages, the appreciation, the extra cash flow from the real estate. I mean, the extra businesses that you end up getting into just because you end up having so much real estate if you continue to buy for years and years and years. So again, it's hard for people to equate in their head and do that math. But I'm telling you, the empire eventually grows so big that it's, bigger than you could have ever even imagined. So that's why that's my number one thing that I always say everywhere. That's literally my number one thing. Cash flow into real estate. No matter, and I talk about these service businesses because they're just essential businesses, right? It doesn't really matter where that cash flow comes from. It doesn't matter if it comes from a tech company. It doesn't matter if it comes from some type of other company that's not a service business or that has nothing to do with real estate at all, right? But those service businesses, they're essential. Everybody needs them. They're going to continue forever. That AI is never going to probably affect any of these businesses, right? AI is not going to send a plumber out to your house. AI is not going to get up there and do your roof anytime soon, right? AI is not going to go and be a moving company. So you have to think about these. These are all essential services that people need every day that AI is not going to affect in the near future. Put that money into real estate. And it's really as simple as that. Now, to go a little deeper, what type of real estate? Now, this turns into a big question. And obviously, I'm a big industrial guy. I love industrial because the operations and the management is much, much less on the industrial side. Again, this is a daily thought that I have, right? In the multifamily, my multifamily has basically grown into a full-time business. I own my own property management company, and now it's a full-time business, nonstop, problems, issues every single day. And I get it, you can hire people to handle the issues, but stuff runs downhill, they say. And, everything gets back to me. I end up hearing about it, especially the crazy situations or, the situations that the employees need a little extra guidance on. So multifamily, and not to mention in multifamily, I'm in New York here, they're just changing the rules constantly. It seems like every day there's a new law that's put into attack that basically is just against landlords, right? Something that just makes it harder for us to operate. So with the property management company and multifamily, we're just continuing to battle that, and we change things because laws change. It seems like monthly around here. So it's really a no-brainer for me. And I know a lot of people are scared of industrial. They're not scared of multifamily because they have seen multifamily. They've operated multifamily. They understand multifamily. Most probably have lived in an apartment. So you get it. It's easy to understand. You may not understand industrial as well, but you need to learn industrial. Start small and get into industrial so you can learn the game. And again, you can start small. Start with a 5,000 square foot warehouse. And then you'll start learning what tenants are looking for. Oh, they're looking for loading docks here. They're looking for overhead doors. This is what they're looking for. This is the type of power that they're looking for. And then the tenants will actually start telling you what they need. And the tenants will tell you, oh, I'm looking for a little bit bigger place with a little bit more power, with a little bit more overhead doors. And then it'll all start to click. You'll learn the whole entire process just because you started small, right? And I'm telling you, once you get into industrial, it's going to change your life. It's just, I think about this every single day of my life, how much better it is than multifamily. And when you're running both of these companies at the same time, it's so night and day that it's unbelievable. It's not even close how much better industrial is and self-storage is. But industrial is even ahead of self-storage. It goes industrial, self-storage, then multifamily. Those are really the only three areas that I play in. I have some retail, but I don't love retail, and obviously I really don't like office. So, industrial, self-storage, then multifamily. Uh, um, and that's really based upon operation scalability, um, everything like that. That's where my list is derived from, and I operate a good amount of all three, I would say. So again, take your money wherever the cash flow comes from. I recommend, service businesses, but wherever your cash flow comes from, put it in real estate. That's number one. Number two is try to get into industrial real estate. But again, multifamily, obviously we have crazy demand around here for multifamily. Multifamily is never going to go away. It's just harder to operate. But that's what I recommend. That's what I recommend to do. Those are literally probably my top 2-3 things that I preach and think about every single day. And that's because I'm in it. I'm in the weeds. I'm in the operations here. So I see this stuff, and it's so clear to me at this point in my life that I just have to say and talk about it just about daily because it's just so obvious to me where it might not be so obvious to other people. Thanks for listening. Chris Ramsey. See you later.